The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman unveiled an ambitious plan to make Riyadh one among the 10 largest city economies in the world. The Crown Prince said that the kingdom will announce a strategy to develop the city of Riyadh and will work to develop strategies for other cities as part of the kingdom's plans to diversify sources of income and achieve robust economic growth. The Crown Prince said that Riyadh was uniquely situated for expansion given its advantages in several key areas, saying that Riyadh represents about 50% of the non-oil economy in the kingdom. On his first full day in office, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said the State Department was taking a very urgent and very close look at the Trump administration designation of the Houthi militia in Yemen as a terrorist organization. Condemning the Iran-backed militia, the new U.S. Secretary of State said that Houthis committed an act of significant aggression when they seized Yemen's capital Sana'a. Houthis in Yemen committed acts of aggression against U.S. partner Saudi Arabia, as well as human rights abuses and atrocities. Iran dismissed a call by the U.S. for it to return to full compliance of a nuclear deal first, insisting it had only taken remedial measures since America's withdrawal. The administration of new U.S. President Joe Biden on Wednesday confirmed its willingness to return to the deal, which has been hanging by a thread since his predecessor Donald Trump's decision to withdraw from it in 2018. But Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who made the announcement, said the U.S. would only return to the deal agreed with major powers in 2015 once Iran resumes its commitments. The Kingdom of Bahrain has enforced via exemptions agreements with number of countries as it seeks to forge friendly relations with more countries. In a statement carried by the Bahrain News Agency, Bahrain's Foreign Ministry announced on Thursday that a number of agreements between Bahrain and Italy, Hungary, regarding the mutual exemption from visa requirements for diplomatic and special passports holders have come into force. The ministry affirmed that these agreements are part of its tireless efforts to promote Bahrain's relations with various countries of the world and also reflect the mutual desire of the governments of friendly countries to invest in the available areas of cooperation, including facilitating movement in a way that meets common aspirations at all levels. The Philippine Food and Drug Administration has approved AstraZeneca's coronavirus vaccine for emergency use, making it the second product to be granted authorization in the country. FDA Director General Eric Domingo on Thursday said there were no safety concerns linked to the AstraZeneca vaccines after their stringent review. He said that the 2 doses of the UK-manufactured vaccine, administered 4 to 12 weeks apart, can only be received by people aged 18 and above, excluding pregnant women. The UN Rights Committee said that Italy failed in its international obligations to protect the right to life of more than 200 migrants on board a vessel that sank in the Mediterranean Sea in 2013. In a decision published, the Human Rights Committee, an independent expert body that monitors countries' compliance with the International Convention on Civil and Political Rights, said that Italy failed to respond promptly to various distress calls from the sinking boat, which was carrying more than 400 adults and children. Italy also failed to explain the delay in dispatching its naval vessel RTS Libra, which was located only about an hour away from the scene, the committee said in a news release. Head of the World Health Organization vowed to affect the which affect more than a billion people. There is little access to quality health services, clean water and sanitation. In a statement released by WHO, he declared that a new approach is needed if diseases such as Guinea worm and News are to be tackled, adding that injecting new energy into our efforts and working together in new ways to get prevention and treatment for all these diseases to everyone who needs it. A remarkably lucky Australian man who forced a crocodile off his head by prizing open its jaws with his bare hands has managed to escape with minor injuries, paramedics said. The 44-year-old Queensland man thought of the creature while swimming at Lake Placid near Cairns on Thursday. He had puncture wounds on each side of his face but was very calm when healthcare workers arrived to treat him. Sir Anthony Gormley has said he fears that planned improvements to the A1 south of Gateshead will have a heartbreaking impact on views of his sculpture The Angle of the North. A planning report concluded there would be a worsening of the view from the northbound carriageway, although Highways England said steps were being taken to mitigate the impact. The improvements are part of a €250 million scheme to ease congestion on the A1 south of Gateshead by widening a 4-mile stretch to 4 lanes on the southbound carriageway and their lanes on the northbound. Paris City Hall has instructed the landlord seeking to close down the city's Indebted Fan Museum to extend its deadline for payment. Director Anne Hurd said her beleaguered museum, a registered historic monument, owed €117,000 in rent arrears due to losses incurred during virus lockdowns last year. The money was due January 23rd, and the landlord had threatened to seize the museum's priceless artifacts as payment. The results of a study by researchers at the University of Texas Medical Branch may pave the way for a new medicine delivery system that could reduce the incidence of preterm labor and premature birth by allowing physicians to treat the fetus as the patient. The study has been published in the latest issue of the journal Science Advances. It has long been suspected that preterm labor is triggered by inflammation caused by a sick fetus. The Singapore Zoo has welcomed a lion cub named Simba to its animal kingdom following artificial insemination that officials said was a first for the city-state. It's rare for lions to be conceived through artificial insemination, with the procedure first carried out successfully in 2018, resulting in 2 cubs in South Africa. Lion populations in the wild have plummeted more than 40% over the past 2 decades, with about 23,000 to 39,000 mature animals left, according to the International Union for Conservation of Nature. The Saudi Tourism Authority announced new tourism packages that allow visitors during the Saudi Arabian winter season to enjoy the Uruk Bani Marid, Sajah and Rams and Farasan Islands nature reserves. The packages are being organized in cooperation with the National Center for Wildlife and offer tourists the opportunity to discover the kingdom's rich and diverse environment, climate, nature, vegetation, and rare wildlife. The packages offer visits to landmarks as well as safaris, stargazing, hiking, camping, and other activities. U.S. researchers have recently created an AI system that can recommend recipes tailored around the preferences and dietary needs of individual users. The system, developed at the Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute and IBM Research in New York, aims to help people find healthy recipes that satisfy both their dietary needs and individuation, and at the same time prevent them from some components that may cause harm in certain health conditions, such as carbohydrates and sugary foods for diabetes patients and some types of fruit or nuts for allergic people. Studies have shown that delays caused by intersections make up to 12 to 55% of daily commute travel, which could be reduced if the operation of traffic light controllers can be made more efficient to avoid unnecessary wait times. A team of researchers from Texas A&M University has developed a self-learning system that utilizes machine learning to improve the coordination of vehicles passing through intersections. Many traffic signals today are programmed with various time settings to tell the traffic display when to change colors from green to red and vice versa, for example, depending on the time of the day.